The bitter liquid that provides the only semblance of pleasure left in these dark times.
Hey, howdy, hey, Lego nutcases, Wolfman47 here, and today it's been a scorcher. It's been 33 degrees the day I'm recording this, which is the 5th of September, so yeah, I have to be shirtless, otherwise I'm gonna sweat like crazy. Ooh, don't want that. So I was thinking of doing a Dead by Daylight video to explain the multiverse with that, but then I decided against that because not only have I played it all the way through, but or rather as much as humanly possible, but I actually don't know too much about how that multiverse works, what its rules are and all that. So I decided that I'll save that for another time, as and when I get around to playing it properly. But what I am gonna, once I fix my tablet, what I am gonna talk about today is the multiverse of Lego Dimensions. Now you might be thinking, oh, this has nothing to do with horror and Halloween and all that, but well, you say that, but don't forget that not every child or person who goes out trick-or-treating will be dressing up as a monster or villain of something or whatever. They'll be dressing up as some of their favourite characters, whether that be hero, villain, somewhere in the middle. Yeah, it's a thing. So that's why for today I'm not gonna do the usual horror thing that I have been doing already. I'm just gonna talk about this. So before we start, Lego Dimensions was a video game released quite a few years ago during the popular trend that was Toys to Life. This was like a series of video games where you get to buy these physical figures, place them on this sort of base, and let them play in the game. Lego had the advantage for this because they themselves are a toy company anyway, and all the figures and play and stuff you can build all came with detachable bases, so you can take them off and have a play with them. And that's what gave them the advantage. The game was originally meant to have 3 years worth of content, but ended up having only 2 years worth of content. And unlike other games, there was only one Lego Dimensions game, and all the figures for the game, regardless of whether it was in year 2 or year 1, all work. To best identify which one's which, year 2 are the ones that have an orange base, and year 1 are the ones that have a blue base. And the general story is that there's this big bad character called Lord Vortek who's trying to take over the Lego multiverse, and somehow manages to capture, and in the process of doing so, somehow captures Robin, Metalbeard, and Frodo from their respective worlds. And it's up to the heroes, it's up to 3 characters from each of those worlds, which in the game are Batman, Wildstar, and Gandalf, to go rescue them. And then there's all this other extra levels and so forth that you can do as well in the game. So I'm going to go through each franchise. I'm not going to go into too much detail about them all because most of them are popular and well known anyway, so you'll know a lot about them already. But I bet there'll be a few that you won't know, and I'm not going to go through the hidden Easter egg ones because that'll just spoil the surprise for you. But there are quite a few of them in the game, whether it be for adult jokes or whatever. There's quite a few hidden ones as well. So let's get to it. So I'll start with a big one, DC Comics. This is, of course, one of the big major comic book publishers, home to the likes of Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Flash, Green Lantern, the Justice League, the Teen Titans, the Injustice Society, the Legion of Doom, Joker, Lex Luthor, Darkseid, Two-Face, Harley Quinn, Toyman. I could go on, but I'm not. So yeah, that's the world that appears in the game. The version of the DC universe picked for the game is actually 3 separate universes. So there's one that's the main one, which is based on the Lego Batman video games. The second one is based on the Lego Batman movie, which is part of the Lego movie franchise. And the third is based on based on Teen Titans Go. And interestingly, if you get the Teen Titans Go figures, you'll get an exclusive episode in the game itself, based on Teen Titans Go, whether you like it or not. So yeah. So next is Wizarding World. So there are 2 worlds that exist for Wizarding World. The first is Harry Potter, and the second is Fantastic Beasts. As everybody knows, this is a universe created by the very highly controversial J.K. Rowling. And the 7 books of Harry Potter, from when he was a wee lad up to the man he eventually becomes in the end, all became huge blockbusters. And a major franchise overall that spawned into all sorts of different things, video games, attractions, and so forth. And then there's also the sort of not as successful spin-off series called Fantastic Beasts, all about Newt Scamander and his quest to protect Fantastic Beasts during a period of time where Grindelwald, forget his first name, is rising to power. So there's that. And there's like lots of packs for those. So there's a level pack so there's a team pack containing Harry Potter and Voldemort, and then there's a sort of a story pack in which you get to play out the first Fantastic Beasts films. And I should have mentioned, with DC Comics you get all the major characters from DC in there, as well as 3 characters from Teen Titans Go, and at least 3 or 4 characters from Lego Batman Movie. Onto the Lego Movie. This was a film that came out in 2014 and was the first major production created by Warner Brothers' at the time new animation company, Warner Animation Group, or WAG for short. And it was a major hit that got snubbed at the box office, despite having what I can definitely say a very interesting look and feel to it, and animation as well, which is a combo between stop motion and CGI, as it is with Lego. And in the Lego Dimensions universe, as I mentioned, there's Lego Batman Movie. Wildstar is one of the major characters, and you get to play as not all but most of the main characters from the actual film itself. So Emmett, Benny, Unikitty, I think Good Cop, Bad Cop. I'll check that in the edit. Next is Lord of the Rings. So this was a book series created by Tolkien, J.R. Tolkien, I think. And many years later, Peter Jackson turned it into a major blockbuster trilogy, which swept the awards pretty much every single year, with Return of the King being like the biggest one to sweep the awards of that particular year. It has since become a major franchise with tabletop games, other forms of video games, and its own spin-off series, The Hobbit, which, much like with Fantastic Beasts, wasn't as successful. But unlike Fantastic Beasts, actually is probably better, if only like a little bit better. And in the game, Gandalf is one of the main characters, and you also get to play as Gimli and Legolas. As far as I know, the only Disney franchise, well, which I can say now, to appear in the game, because I think at the time Disney were quite protective of their own properties, and still are, but they didn't own Fox at the time. So The Simpsons. I don't think I need to explain what The Simpsons are, but I'll explain anyway. It's about a dysfunctional family called The Simpsons, who live in this town called Springfield, and they go off on various different adventures and shenanigans and all sorts of stuff. It's the longest running American animated sitcom of all time, and probably will continue on until the day we all die, or whatever. But yeah, it's in there. Then there's Wizard of Oz. So this was an MGM production back in the day, but has since become a Warner Brothers franchise. It's a very beloved and cherished film about a girl named Dorothy who travels to the land of Oz and tries to find a way home, and is accompanied by a scarecrow without a brain, a tin man without a heart, and a lion without courage, and her dog Toto. And in Lego Dimensions, the only character you get to play as is the Wicked Witch. But if you're able to get your hands on the collectible minifigures from the Lego Movie 2, you'll be able to get characters from Wizard of Oz as well from that. So yeah. I'll be surprised if there's people that don't know this one. Back to the Future, one of a few time traveling franchises in the game. All about a man called Doc Brown and a boy called Martin McFly who travel to the past, to the future, and to the very far past to try and make sure the space-time continuum isn't disrupted by certain events. 3 films were released, and then a bunch of video games and other stuff were also released as well. People are wanting to see if there will ever be a 4th film, but Steven Spielberg has made it clear there will not be a 4th one, and if there is, well, that'll be up to him. Next is Portal. So this is one of the many games created by Valve before they turned their attention to Steam. 2 Portal games have been released, as well as DLC for both games, and it's set in the universe of Half-Life, and people are still waiting for Half-Life 3. Valve will probably never release Half-Life 3 because they can't count to 3 for some reason. But yeah, in the game you get this one big level which is like a bunch of different tests you can do with characters and that. And Shell is also a playable character who has her own level, that is the story of which is set after Portal 2, so kind of sort of like Portal 3. Also, GLaDOS plays a major part in the main story and does the credits theme, the credits song at the end as well. So the other time traveling franchise from the Beebs, as I call them, BBC actually, Doctor Who. About a time traveling Time Lord who travels through time and space to basically explore the time stream while also fighting against bad guys that dare try to destroy his planet or destroy time itself. Such beings like the Daleks, the Cybermen, the Weeping Angels, and all that. Lego Dimensions was released during Peter Capaldi's tenure, so you get to play as all the Doctors up to Peter Capaldi, with Peter Capaldi being the only Doctor to have recorded unique dialogue for the game. The rest are archive footage, but their TARDIS interiors are changed accordingly depending on which one you play as or regenerate into. And there's a level pack for that as well, and you can also get to play as a Dalek and a Cyberman too. So there's that. Next is Jurassic World. So this is the second trilogy, part of the Jurassic Park franchise, all about this sort of Jurassic World thing that started off as a theme park but then went downhill. And it's one of those films where has a really good first film, but then the second and third films are just not as good. So yeah, it's not got a level pack as such, but that's probably because Lego Dimensions came out the same year as TT Games' Jurassic World game. So yeah, it's in there for the heck of it, pretty much. So, and another one from Steven Spielberg is E.T. the Extraterrestrial, one of his great films about an alien called E.T. that just wants to go home, and the film, as far as I understand, is about the relationship between the boy and the alien, and everything that tries to and all the things that try to tear the two apart from each other. Then we've got Gremlins. This was 2 films which were produced by Spielberg, but he didn't direct them. Both Christmas films, as far as I know, about these little creatures that, if you feed after midnight, will turn into these little monster gremlins, as they call it. Very iconic, and in the game you can buy a pack where you can play as the main protagonist and the main antagonist, which I forget the names of. And then there's the Goonies. Some of you will know these. This is the film where actors like Sean Austin and Josh Brolin made their startings on, and of course they would go on to play their respective iconic characters. and it was pretty good, the film, from what I remember. Scooby-Doo, one of Hanna-Barbera's big franchises, all about these meddling kids and their dog trying to solve mysteries that usually involve a guy in a mask or some other thing. Yeah, that's all I can say on that. Ghostbusters. So this is two worlds in the game. One is based on the OG Ghostbusters, so featuring the likes of Dan Aykroyd, Bill Murray, and the rest of them, and the other featuring the all-female Ghostbusters, because year 2 was started around the time when the new Ghostbusters came out, and although not an outright terrible film, people will agree that the OG Ghostbusters are better, to the point where it's completely disregarded, and Sony focused their efforts on what would become the third Ghostbusters film, Ghostbusters Afterlife. All about fighting ghosts and just busting their asses. So another one is Midway Arcade. So Warner Brothers, when they decided to take video gaming much more seriously, decided to focus their efforts on buying some publishers, for some developers for their company, and one of them was Midway. And through Midway, they were able to gain some of the games. So games such as Paperboy became part of their catalogue of games. And although there's not like a particular character and so forth you get to play as in Lego Dimensions, you do get to play as this character called Gamer Boy. And the whole general idea is you get to play as him and find these different arcade cabinets in different levels, and then you can play all the different Midway Arcade games that you can play in Lego Dimensions. So there's that one. Of course, this being a Lego game about different franchises, they also include their own IPs. So there's Legends of Chima, which is about these 3 warrior anthropomorphic animals who fight these bad guys, and yeah, I don't really know much about that. Ninjago, about ninjas that are effectively the Bionicle of the ninja thing, and each ninja has their own elements, and if you've seen the film, they usually fight with mechs but also have ninja abilities as well. Ooh. And Lego City Undercover, which was a Wii U exclusive and also had a 3DS spin-off about this character called Chase McCain, who returns to Lego City, which is basically this combination of different landmarks from across the globe, only to find that his greatest criminal that he locked up has been released, and he must find him and put him back in jail before Lego City is destroyed from this conspiracy. So this is one of Cartoon Network's best cartoons of recent memory, Adventure Time. It's a pretty random show about these different random adventures, but from what I can understand, the main focus is on Finn and Jake, who are a boy and dog duo that work together to basically protect their world from major threats and go on these weird, random, wild adventures. It's so random that most of the time they just disregard different big key events, where most franchises tend to make a big deal about key events such as character dying or whatever, but no, they just like sweep it under the rug and move on to the next one. At least that's what I get from it. Mission Impossible. So this was originally a TV show from many years ago, but nowadays is known as a film franchise with Tom Cruise in the main role, and he actually did say recently that he wants to continue making Mission Impossible films until he gets to the point where he can no longer act, and good on him, because it is one of those franchises, much like with James Bond, where it needs like a few years before each one comes out to be made, and it's good fun, those films, usually. And there's a level pack you can play which has his main character, Ethan Hunt. And next is the A-Team. So I don't know too much about this other than it's a sort of action hero kind of show that where Mr. T got his beginnings from. Mr. T being this badass dude, who takes no nonsense, as it should be, and you get to play as his character in the game as well. But I think you can get to play as the other characters from the A-Team as well. So next is the Powerpuff Girls. So this is the Powerpuff Girls. That Lego Dimensions I've picked is the newer ones, not like the OG old ones that Craig McCacken made. But it's still the same basic premise of these girls being made from sugar, spice, everything nice, and an accidental dose of chemical X, and they have superpowers, and they go protect their city, their beloved city of Townsville, from threats like him, the Gangrene Gang, Fuzzy Lumpkins, Mojo Jojo, Princess, and others. And the last one that is a major franchise in the game, but isn't hidden, is Beetlejuice. Perhaps the only Tim Burton franchise to appear in the game that's actually not. That is what it is. I will admit, most of these franchises that are in the game are a bit hit or miss. Most are definitely not for children, that I can assure you, but a large chunk of them are. And that pretty much covers Lego Dimensions in a nutshell. It is a great game. Does need a lot of money if you want to invest in it, because especially with Lego Dimensions no longer being a thing, and of course Lego being Lego, it's expensive once these sets retire. So yeah, most people will be dressing up as the characters from these franchises and maybe other franchises as well. That I know for sure. So yeah. So thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, then please like, share, comment below, or wherever it is these days, and subscribe. Especially love to hear if you've had your own experiences of Lego Dimensions. I personally have played the game, and I managed to get the Platinum Trophy on PlayStation 3, because at the time I didn't have a gaming computer. Of course, it wasn't released on PC, but I hope it does get released on PC one day, because I know Disney Infinity and others are on there, but not that. So yeah, see you in the next one. Peace to you all, and for whatever you do not leave Lego on the floor, because if people are barefoot and step on it, it's gonna hurt. I know that from experience. So yeah, see ya.